On a nice Tuesday late afternoon here at McKeon Park, the Hyannis Hardbox will play host to the Wareham Gatemen, and with only a little over 10 days to go till we hit the All-Star game in Chatham. Both teams are vying for positioning here in the Western Division standings. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, as you're listening to Hardbox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Jack Keffer and Gabe Sustick live here as Jack Hyannis looking for a major win as they sit right now in fourth at 11-15, 22 points. The Wareham Gatemen sit 12-11-3 with 27. Bigger really for Hyannis. They will play the Bourne Braves tomorrow as you kind of look ahead at Durham Park. And if Hyannis is able to get a win today, it can become a huge matchup between Bourne, who has fallen to that third spot, as Hyannis is only 3 points behind them.
Yeah, Hyannis, they've struggled in their past week, 5 and 6. They just cannot seem to piece 2-3 wins together like they were on a hot streak where they won 4 straight. But since that 4-game win streak, they haven't won more than 2 games in a row, and it's just been a struggle of timely offensive hitting combined with some good pitching. Hyannis' pitching has been great so far throughout the past 2 weeks. They've really pitched nicely, but the offense, that has been the biggest question mark for Hyannis. And with 4 runs scored in the last 4 games, can Hyannis improve that here against a team, Wareham, that has been struggling greatly in their last 5 games?
Since for both teams, since playing each other, Hyannis is 1-3. Wareham is 0-2-2. They tie 2 straight games by the same score of 3-3 both times. But it helps them a little bit because they get 2 points from one of those, of those 2 ties. So they still gain points as Max Soroller gets the first pitch called for ball to the man standing in there in Cole Freeman. And we will get to Soroller in his final start here with Hyannis as he drops that one inside for a strike. But for the Wareham Gatemen, Cole Freeman lead off, followed by Joey Bartosik, Alex Destino, the DH, and Joey Bart in the cleanup spot. And then followed by Gavin Sheets, Robert Metz, Austin Wade, Adrian Tovaline, and Nico Giratano in the 9th spot for the Wareham Gatemen. And defensively for Hyannis, Chris Hudgens will be catching the pitches behind home plate, followed by Dylan Busby at third, Zach Rutherford at short, Ford Proctor at second, Cody Henry over at first. The 2-1 pitch by Soroller is lifted high into the air into left field. Jordan Rogers standing near the warning track, moving around in the shade, and he makes the catch for the first out here of the game. So Rogers out in left, Brett Netzer in center, and Peter Zyla in right. And we'll get right now here to Max Soroller, as we mentioned, in his final start here on an innings limit from southeastern Louisiana, Jack. And really, when you think about it, has had the misfortune of his pitching starts. The 3rd consecutive time now he will face a team in 2 straight starts. As the first pitch is a swung and miss by Joey Bartosik. He did that early on the season, 2 games against Harwich, then 2 games against the Brewster Whitecaps, and now he does 2 games here against Wareham. Both those games were at Brewster that he pitched against.
He's only pitched twice at home.
Grounder, gloved nicely by Busby, throws it over to Henry, who makes the grab and 2 quickly away for Hyannis.
Soroller coming off against Wareham of a relatively good start, especially for him up here on the Cape. 5 1/3 of an inning with only 2 earned runs on 4 hits and 4 strikeouts. Only walked 1 batter. He's been good about the walks throughout his last 4 starts. He's only walked 2 in his last 4 starts after walking 4 in his opener against Harwich. But really for Soroller, it's just about getting ahead of hitters, pounding the zone. He's got the stuff. He just needs to be dominant.
That was a nasty breaking pitch there. Swung on a miss by Destino. Probably the best start by Soroller was his second one against the Harwich Mariners.
At home?
At home, as that one's line gloved there by Soroller, and he'll flip himself, and he makes the final out after a 1-2-3 inning for Hyannis. We will definitely get back to Soroller, but Hyannis will go to the bats at the bottom of the first inning in a scoreless game against the Wareham Gatemen here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the first inning. 1-2-3 inning for the Hard Rocks. And now they will try to get off this slight struggle that they've been having with the bats and scoring runs. Brett Netzer will be leading things off for them, followed by Ford Proctor, Zach Rutherford, Jordan Rogers in the cleanup spot, and Dylan Busby, Cody Henry, Chris Hudgens, Carl Stadjor in the DH spot, and Peter Zyla batting ninth for Hyannis. They will be facing Jeff Bain, who is also a familiar face that they played the last time they played Wareham at Spillane Field.
Exact same pitching matchup that they played at Spillane Field. So Roller and Bain.
As Bain sets up once again to his former teammate in Netzer, and that one drops in there for a strike and a 1-1 count to Netzer. And then defensively, Joey Bart will be catching for Wareham, and he has done phenomenally for them hitting-wise, which is why he's gotten a lot more starts. That pitch misses by Bain. Adrian Tovaline will be at third, Nico Giratano at short, Cole Freeman at second, Gavin Sheets over at first, and then left to right in the outfield, Robert Metz, Joey Bartostic, and Austin Wade, as that one's going to nail Brett Netzer right in the midsection. With a 2-1 count, he'll get a base.
Tries to run the fastball inside. Just smacks Brett Netzer right in the back. That one did not look painful. Or excuse me, that one did not look easy to take.
Didn't look painful. I think you would have to say that differently. But Netzer does get on base, and so Hyannis will try to utilize him as they left 11 runners stranded in the 2-1 loss to the Cotuit Cavaliers 2 days ago at McKeon Park. That series tied up all at 2 now between Hyannis and Cotuit, and Cotuit 2 games against Hyannis as they move further up in the 5th spot in the West Division, as Cotuit's 8-17, 17 points, and they only sit 5 points back of Hyannis. That one, broken bat, and it's going to skid right into the sliding Freeman. He makes the play at first, and Netzer will make his way over to second. So that'll be, look like a slight broken, can't really see where it was broken, but it did sound like it made a crack noise. And that's unfortunate because the past game, Rutherford and Proctor had simply been switching bats off between each other, but now Rutherford will step in here. A nice brown tint, though, on his bat here, with Brett Netzer over at second with 1 out, and that one's fouled away by Rutherford for strike 1.
And Rutherford has got a 5-game hitting streak going after his 7-game hitting streak was broken up, but struck out 3 times against Cotuit in big situations with runners on that he could have scored with less than 2 outs, and just uncharacteristic of Rutherford that last Cotuit game.
He gets a slow lob, and that one's going to avoid the defense as Netzer's going to turn in, and he's actually going to run back to third. He will stay safely, though, but he turned strongly around third base. So that was a short play. Freeman was playing all the way near second base, which is why the ball escaped into right field, but Wade came in and made a throw to make sure Netzer didn't come in scoring.
Well, Netzer also stumbled around third, and that's kind of why he got tripped up there. Wasn't certain on the play, the wave around from Coach Chad Gassman at first, but after he tripped up, knew that he needed to head back.
Hyannis does not want to misplay their scoring opportunities. As I mentioned, 11 guys left on base. 3 times guys were called out at home against Cotuit in their last game. That one fouled into the backstop by Jordan Rogers.
And Jeff Bain, Louisville freshman slugger, All-American is 2015, but this last year didn't get to pitch as many innings due to some injury setbacks. Only pitched 14 2/3 at Cal.
Short chopper, that's going to pop the glove right off of Tovaline, and he's going to try and throw it over to first, but that's not going to get it done as Rogers sends a scorcher down the third base line. Brett Netzer scores, and it's 1-0 Hyannis.
Great play from Tovaline. Just couldn't keep the glove on. I mean, you're exactly right. Rogers got a good piece of it. The fastball that was way up in the zone. Tovaline just couldn't handle it on the backhand, and now Dylan Busby, a man that you do not want to see with runners on and less than 2 outs, up at the plate.
So Hyannis finds their first run scored. They did find a run scored in the first inning against Katuitt, but that was off of a solo shot by the man who steps in right now in Dylan Busby. But they have 2 men on here early. 1 out still. Bain deals that one, break down low. Busby watched it dive, and it'll be called for strike 1. So it'll be another RBI for Jordan Rogers. So now that makes it 19 for him. So so he's at third place now. He joins along with, he's now 2 top RBI guys here tonight as Colton Shaver stands in the lead with 22. Bain, the righty stares over, deals to Busby. That one breaks 2 down low, and it'll be a 2-1 count. Jeff Bain in his last start against Hyannis, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He's already got 1 earned and 2 hits in the first inning alone. Bain sets at the belt, but time will be called by Busby at home.
Yeah, Bain pitched well against Hyannis in that last inning. They just couldn't hit him. Couldn't get to him, really. Only pitched 4 innings, entered the 5th, but was pulled.
The pitch, that one's lifted deep, and they're just going to watch it go. That one, a monster shot by Dylan Busby. Not even Bartosik or Wade tried to go for it, and it's a 3-run shot with 1 out, and it's already 4-0 Hyannis.
That thing hit halfway up on the halfway up on the flagpole out in right center field. Smacked a branch and then came down. Boy, you saw the home run derby last night? You see Juan Carlos Stanton hit some home runs like that? Dylan Busby's the next one.
Busby is third home run. That one's popped into the air. It'll stay in the infield by Cody Henry. And that'll be caught for the second out by Henry, who stepped left-handed batter's box. Broken bat by him as well. But now the third home run for Busby. And now has 9 RBIs to go along with the season in only 12 games played. So now he is climbing up the RBI ladder as well.
And Gabe, again, the home run ball being the big factor for Hyannis. As you saw during their win streak when they were winning a lot of games, it was because they were hitting home runs.
It's now their 16th home run, as they already came in to today's game second in home runs, with only Brewster, who's been stagnated with home runs, still at 22. As Hudgens fouls that one away. Sheets moving in around, and he makes the grab in foul territory right by the Wareham dugout. And that'll retire the next 2 batters for Hyannis, but Dylan Busby, same shot, different day for him, as he hits a 3-run homer with 1 out into center field, and it's 4-0 Hyannis as we head to the second inning on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the second inning, or top of the second inning, already 4-0 lead for Hyannis. A 3-run shot into right field, hit above the trees, right by the light post. And it's by Dylan Busby. His 3rd home run, and he gives a huge shot in the arm by Hyannis, who have struggled to score runs. But he now puts them and gives them a 4 spot in that inning, as that one's lifted as well into that center field location, and that one goes out as well. A home run by Joey Bart, and he continues to stay hot for Wareham, and they make it a 4-1 game.
Boy, this kid right now on the Cape is unstoppable. Joey Bart is 16, now 17 for his last 32 at-bats. It is unbelievable what this guy's doing. He's hitting .500 baseball over a 2-3 week period.
He sends that one flying the same direction, not as high, though, as Dylan Busby, but absolutely destroys that one against Soroller. First pitch, and that one, though, is a swing and a miss by Gavin Sheets. And he immediately puts Wareham up on the board. That one misses down low to Sheets. Sheets on the other side is very cold compared to Bart. 2 of his last 20 with 6 strikeouts. Fouls that one away into the netting. He had only 9 strikeouts in his first 72 at-bats. And so he has definitely lost a little bit. One of the other big power hitters, along with Colton Shaver. And he'll have to probably do it alone as that breaking pitch misses on the outside for a 2-2 count. He'll have to do it alone as Shaver, unless he pinch hits into the game, has the night off here for Wareham. So Roller deals. That breaking pitch is hit ground ball to second. Proctor gives it over to Henry, and one is away.
Well, I mean, Joey Barton, if he'll probably do it all on his own. For Wareham, he's just unstoppable right now at the plate.
Bart's first home run while on Cape as well, even through how hot he's been. So he finally gets his first home run on Cape. And he cuts into this lead a little bit for Wareham as Hyannis now leads at 4-1. 1 out here in the top of the second. Soroller kicks and deals, and that one's a ground ball. That one misses the glove of Soroller and will trickle out into center field. A base hit for Robert Metz, and a man aboard with 1 out.
And this is what you can't see from Soroller, is surrendering these little base knocks up the middle. Got to get ahead of hitters, got to put that home run behind, execute his pitches. He's got some great stuff, and that curveball really reminds me of his best outing against Harwich, where it was lights out. But again, he just needs to work ahead of batters. That's been his downfall.
Soroller deals. Breaking pitch catches the lower corner to Austin Wade. As Metz making some motions over at first. Has 9 stolen bases so far for Wareham. And hasn't been caught stealing yet. 44 stolen bases in total for Wareham. Leads the league.
Yeah, and I mean, that kind of comes off from Joey Bartosik and Cole Freeman, who combined have 20 stolen bases, 19 to be exact.
There it goes. Hudgens, the throw over, a bouncing glove, though, into Rutherford. He can't make the tag quick enough to Metz, and it's another stolen base for Wareham.
Yeah, it was a good, strong throw from Hudgens, but again, Metz had all the time in the world. It had a huge lead off first base, and Hudgens' throw on the wrong side of the bag, and Rutherford, tough to make that tag and apply it that quickly when Metz just had such a good jump.
So it'll be a 1-1 count to Austin Wade. The man now in scoring position once again for Wareham. They've already scored 1 off of the solo shot by Joey Bart. So Roller deals that one way in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike to Austin Wade.
And Wade, a recent pickup, picked up about a week and a half ago by Wareham. Made his first start against Hyannis a week ago.
2-1 pitch, pops that into the air over the netting. This will be his 6th game played for Wareham. 5 of 19, 1 double, 1 RBI, and 4 strikeouts.
And that double coming against Hyannis in his first hit up here on the Cape.
So Roller turns around. And he'll reset on the mound here. Two-two pitch here for Austin Wade. Soroller kicks and deals that one way in the dirt again. Hudgens does a good job keeping in front of him. to make sure Metz stays over at second, and it'll be a full count.
Great work from Hudgens behind the plate. That could have gotten past him, but he's really active back there. Gets his body in front of the ball.
So Roller near the belt, motioning over is Rutherford, and Soroller will step off once again as they try to keep Wade as close as he can to second. Still one out, top of the second inning, and a 4-1 lead for Hyannis. But Wareham is already looking to cut into it in their second inning of at-bat. Payoff pitch by Soroller, and that one misses upstairs. And it'll be a walk dealt by Austin Wade. And now 2 men aboard with only 1 out. So now Adrian Tovaline will step in here. Only batting 182, though, for Wareham. In 14 games and 44 at-bats, and has 14 strikeouts.
Lots of pop off his bat, though, in those 8 hits that he has on the Cape. 4 of them extra bases.
Swings and misses at that breaking pitch down low for strike 1.
And you can just see the powerful swing. He swings out of his shoes almost. He's hitless against Hyannis this season, 0 for 7.
A 1 pitch outside, pickoff throw to first. Sliding back safely, though, is Wade. As Hudgens tried to make a snap throw over there, almost caught him. It'll be a 1-1 count, though, to Tovaline.
We've seen what Hudgens can do. Making snap throws down to third and first. Looks great.
1-1 pitch. Both runners go. Throw over. The tag is not made in time by Hudgens once again. A double steal by Wareham, and now 2 men in scoring position.
And that's a great pitch to steal on Soroller. You knew the off-speed was coming because you didn't want to give a fastball down the middle on a 1-1 count. And Soroller just misses his spot blatantly. Tough for Hudgens, though, as he has to scoop it and then throw it down. Throws a little bit high to Busby.
2-1 pitch to Tovaline. Soroller kicks and deals, and that one stays upstairs in the corner.
Yes, it does.
And it'll be a 3-1 count here to Tovaline. Still only 1 out here in the top of the second, and a flyout will cut the lead in half against Hyannis. But Tovaline looking for more. Soroller sets at the belt, deals, and that one misses outside, and he walks the bases loaded. Still only 1 out, and we head to Nico Giratano in the 9 spot for Wareham.
That's not what you want to see from Soroller. 2 walks in the inning after only walking 2 in his last 4 games, as aforementioned. And now the coach of an age, one of the best of his time, will come out and talk to Soroller and try to get his head right.
Soroller, as we mentioned, in his last start here for Hyannis on an innings limit from southeastern Louisiana. Matthew Naylor already getting warm up in the Hyannis bullpen. I would love to see Soroller find a way out of this without avoiding much damage and at least get Hyannis back up to bat with a slight lead at this point as they came into the inning leading 4-0. A solo shot by Joey Bart. Change that immediately. Soroller find a way to get a ground out, and then it's been nothing but struggle since. Giratano will step in the left-handed batter's box. He also is struggling as well, only batting 192. And the first pitch is fanned by Giratano.
Yeah, him and Grand Prix, they've been bouncing back and forth in the lineup in that shortstop role. Giratano getting starting in 4 straight days from July 1st to July 4th. That's really been his longest stint of continuous playing time.
That one misses in there by Soroller, and it's a 1-1 count to Giratano. It's only 3 of 13, though, with runners in scoring position. He's also only 6 of 38 against righties as he fouls that one away, and it'll be a 1-2 count.
Yeah, and Giratano, he scored the winning run at Spillane Field. A 5-4 win for Wareham when they scored in the bottom of half of the 8th inning. Came in to pinch run that game and stole a base, came around to score. But in the time that he started against Hyannis, which was the first game here at McKeon Park, was 0 for 4 with a strikeout.
The 1-2 by Sorolla, that one in the dirt, and Hudgens doing a spectacular job. Really putting his body in front of these balls in the dirt. And it'll be a 2-2 count to Giratano.
Yeah, no questions asked. He has been active back there tonight. And it's only the 2nd inning.
Two-two count to Giratano. Bases loaded, 1 out here in the top of the 2nd, a 4-1 lead for Hyannis. Soroller deals, foul tipped by Giratano, and it stays at a 2-2 count.
Yeah, not much that Hudge could do there. As Giratano just misdirects the ball too much. We'll see if Soroller can get an out pitch here. He's got to go back to his curveball, I would think.
Metz at third, Austin Wade at second, Tovaline at first. The 2-2 pitch misses just outside by Soroller, and it's a full count for Giratano. Soroller stays in for the sign from Hudgens, sets at the belt. Looks in. The pitch, it's a ground ball to Proctor. He makes the throw to second. Play at first is in time as Hyannis turns the double play, and they avoid any damage aside from the solo shot by Joey Bart. And a huge save in the 2nd inning for Soroller. He will step away into the dugout, and Hyannis will head to the bottom of the 2nd inning, still leading 4-1 here at McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealthcare.org/urgent care.
Bottom of the 2nd inning, Carl Stadjuar will lead things off here for Hyannis, and he'll be followed by Peter Zyla. Jet Bain back on the mound here after allowing those 4 runs in the 1st inning. As the first pitch hits the lower corner outside for strike 1 to Stadjuar. But Max Soroller avoided what could have been a catastrophe for Hyannis, as that one nicely into the glove of Bain. Stadjuar goes down for the first out, but almost catastrophic by Soroller. The leadoff home run by Joey Bart has made it a 4-1 game. He gets the first out. Single by Metz, who steals 2 bases, gets to third. A walk by Wade, and he steals a base to second. And another walk to Tovaline. And then Giratano, with a full count, grounds out into a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning, as that one misses way outside by Bain.
Yeah, and it's just Soroller executing. He left the curveball low.
That one drops in there for a strike on Peter Zyla, the Duke Blue Devil in the left-handed batter's box.
There's good work from Soroller there as he needed to come up with a big pitch, and he did. Needs to limit those walks, though, 2 in that inning.
That one's lined right into the glove, though, of Gavin Sheets. He's going to have to flip it, but no play will be made as he bumps into Bain, moving in as they kind of hesitated over at first, and Peter Zyla reaches base safely with 1 out.
Bain just didn't really jump off the mound. He thought that Sheets was going to grab it, but Zyla has got some decent speed, especially out of the left-handed batter's box. Miscommunication there between the first baseman and his pitcher.
Will be a hit for Zyla as that one misses upstairs by Bain to Brett Netzer in the leadoff spot. Back up to the top of the lineup for Hyannis. Bain sets up by his head. And Netzer goes, but that's fouled away by Netzer. And Zyla will have to return, as I said Netzer twice, but that's all right. He can't do everything, unfortunately, but
Be incredible if he could. Zyla does have 2 stolen bases on the season. Has not been caught stealing yet.
2 straight lefties, and now a throwback over, and Zyla just avoiding that tag there by Sheets. Might have just slightly got in there to first base.
Maybe slightly got lucky, too.
Bain sets once again. Deals as that one's lifted into deep left field, moving back, and no one's able to get it as it reaches the wall. Zyla's going to turn, and he's going to be waved around. He turns from home. They're going to make a throw, but it'll be too late as Zyla stands up safely at home, and it'll be another RBI for Brett Netzer, and Hyannis leads it 5-1.
Boy, that's got to feel good against your old team. Smack a double and bring home a run to increase this lead and null the home run in the bottom half of that first inning. And now with the heart of the lineup coming up, Hyannis just trying to add more to their lead. This offense has been quiet the last 4 games. They're trying to explode here.
RBI double, and that one's lifted into center field by Proctor. It drops. Turning from third is Netzer, and they're not going to get him as it's an overplayed throw. And it's 6-1 Hyannis here in the bottom of the second with 1 out.
Well, you just see Hyannis is jumping on Jeff Bain's fastball. I mean, Netzer hits the double on the fastball. Proctor hits the double on the fastball. Busby hits his home run on a fastball. So Bain, he's not locating it well, and he's using it too much in the counts. Not relying enough on his off-speed.
So Hyannis gathering up the RBIs here in this inning once again. For Ford Proctor, only his 3rd RBI. But helping Hyannis get back in their scoring ways. 6 runs in 2 innings for the Hard Rocks, as they had struggled mightily in their last couple of games getting runs across, especially against Katuitt. A 1 pitch from Bain, swing and missed by Rutherford for an 0-2 count.
Well, they've scored exactly 1 run in the last 4 games, so after having a loud week of baseball where they scored 20 runs in 2 games and 36 runs in 4 games in between those 2 games, a shutout where Orleans shut Hyannis out. But other than that, the offense has just been spectacular until it hit a lull in the past 4 games.
Jeff Bain, the 1-2 pitch, and that one's fouled away by Rutherford. And the thing that really hurts Wareham is that Peter Zyla getting on base with only one out, and he brings the top of the lineup back, which is the clear deadliest part of this Hard Rock team. And they have really gotten it done so far in this game early on. 1-2 pitch. That one is going to just sneak into the gap into left field. Proctor will hold safely at third, and it's another hit for Hyannis here in the inning. And runners on the corners now as they lead 6-1.
I mean, when you have Proctor, Rutherford, Rogers, and Busby, that's the four of the best players in college baseball. And Rutherford has made himself into a prospect this year on the Cape. I mean, really coming into it, scouts were not looking at him being like he's going to project as a major league player, but he comes up here and they can't fathom it. It's really just quite something that this guy is just smoking the ball.
First strike down low call by Rogers. And an unfortunate circumstance for Jeff Bain. He is all alone on the island out there, as now slight warm-ups are going to get underway for Wareham. But a moment ago, it was dead silent over there as Rogers sits in with an 0-2 count.
And also, Jordan Rogers, I mean, he's a junior up here on the Cape. You don't see that often. And he comes up here, and he's just hitting the ball very well, seeing it well, performing at a high level in one of the best leagues in the country, the best league in the country.
Bain, 0-2 pitch to Rogers. He swings that one, but right into the glove of Tovaline, and he makes the throw over, but Rutherford slides back safely. And allowed out by Rogers here in this bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, and Rutherford's lucky that the throw from Tovaline was high to Sheets at first, because I think if it wasn't, then they would have gotten Rutherford for the double.
But you get one power guy out, and now you bring up Dylan Busby. 3-run home run to center field in the first inning, which really opened up here for Hyannis. As Busby step in against Bain. He leads the league in OPS as that one slides in. Rutherford almost tripped there, sliding. He gets back safely, though. 2 outs, bottom of the second inning. Runners on the corners for Hyannis. They already have 2 runs in this inning alone for a total of 6. Bain tries to make a double move over. He makes no throw at all, but he'll step back in as now he'll try to prepare a little bit more here to Busby. Busby awaits the first pitch, and that one is way outside in the dirt, covered well by Bart. It'll be for ball 1. I would think that might be the tactic against Busby, is to just try and keep him low. You don't want to give this guy anything upstairs.
Yeah, but he could golf something as well.
Thought about that one there. It was a little slow swing as he does a little 180 off of it, and it'll be a 1-1 count.
Well, he recognized midway through the pitch that it was an off-speed instead of a fastball that was going to stay at the same plane.
Bain sets. Time is called, though, by Bart behind home plate. Bain stares in, sets back up at the belt. And he'll make another double move on the base pass. Still no throw over, though. One count awaiting is Dylan Busby, and he swings and misses at that one down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Bain is just going to give Busby all off-speed pitches. Because if you don't, he's going to hit a 3-1 home run.
You're asking for some serious danger. Any warm-up motion is now stopped at Wareham, so they're going to let Bain finish this off unless Busby finds a way once again, which is not out of the question at all for the Seminole. Bain does another double pickoff move, Still no throw anywhere. And he really needs some time to think about what he's going to do here with Dylan Busby.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the point of the double pickoff move is just to throw off Busby and throw off the timing, throw off the rhythm. You see the third base umpire throwing a few claps up there saying, hey, let's go. Let's get it started.
1-2 is fouled away by Busby, right into the hands of Cody Henry in the on-deck circle. Wind is blowing outward into the marina here at McKeon Park. Dylan Busby, though, does not need the wind. That one caught looking down low is Dylan Busby. He goes down on strikes for the final out of the inning. Hyannis leaves 2 men stranded, but they put 2 men across for the Hard Rocks as they now lead 6-1 as we head to the 3rd inning of play on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the 3rd inning here at McKeon Park. A 6-1 lead for the Hyannis Hard Rocks. 3rd inning of work here for Max Soroller. He'll face back the top of the lineup. Cole Freeman, Joey Bartosik, Alex Destino, the DH. And we'll try to clean up the miscues that he had in the previous inning. 2 straight walks. As he deals the first pitch to Freeman, and it misses outside for ball 1. That one hops over. Rutherford makes the play at short, throws over to Henry, but not in time with the speed from Cole Freeman. And he gets the leadoff man aboard.
He can just beat out anything that he puts on the ground. It is pretty incredible. I mean, that one just takes 2 big bounces up the middle. And Rutherford makes a strong throw after a quick exchange out of the glove, but not even close to touching Cole Freeman at first.
Throw back over, and Freeman gets back safely.
And now you have Freeman on first, who's got 7 stolen bases in 14 games. And Bartosik at the plate with 12 stolen bases on the year.
And they'll throw back over once again. They're definitely going to try and keep him a little bit more closer to first base. He was 26 of 35 while at LSU.
And caught stealing 3 times here.
The speed is evident as that one is fouled away into the netting. I wonder what his 60 time was.
Good question. They didn't really give those out at Fenway, did they?
No, they really keep them to themselves.
Oh.
Probably would have to ask him directly as he throws back over again, does Soroller.
I'm sure it's sub 6'7". Maybe sub 6'6", to be honest.
Throw back over, and they are definitely sending a message to Cole Freeman, as Bartosik has been sitting in the right-handed batter's box for some time now, waiting for an 0-1 pitch. Soroller sets and gives it to him, but he fouls that one off in the same direction for 2 strikes as he taps the bat on his helmet. Does Bartosik.
And Soroller's doing a lot better job this inning of stranding runners in terms of base running. He's changing up how long he's waiting in between pitches, throwing over more. He's hard to read for a base runner, and that's exactly what you want. And that's probably what Ray Korn talked to him about on the mound during that second inning mound visit.
Another throw over to Freeman. Sorolla looks into Hudgens for the sign. Sets and deals. That one is lifted into left field. Rogers moves over and makes the catch in the shade, and they put one out away for the Gatemen here in the top of the third. Well, the MLB All-Star Game is this evening, and a couple of former Cape League players starting in that game. Jackie Bradley Jr., one of them, out of South Carolina, playing for the Red Sox and played for Hyannis. 2009, he's joined by a list of well-known names. Chris Sale, Florida Gulf Coast, played for YD in 09 with the Chicago White Sox. Chris Bryant, out of San Diego, played for Chatham in 2011 with the Cubs. And Buster Posey, out of Florida State, played for YD. As Freeman goes, Hudgens, the throw over down low. It hops, tagging and making the out is Zach Rutherford, though, as he gets the hop. And Hudgens catches Cole Freeman stealing to put the second out away.
Not a good pitch to go on in terms of a 0-0 count. And Soroller just pumps across the fastball. Great throw from Chris Hudgens, though. That's all on Hudgens.
1-0 count, fan there by Destino for a 1-1 count. Chris Hudgens, we talked to him in the dugout, saw the numbers for a couple of guys, and Freeman and William, one of them. He said he wants to get him out, and he does so there as he catches one in the dirt. But as I mentioned, Buster Posey played for YD in 06 and 07. Has the best score at the Pirates Cove mini golf course as well here up on Cape Cod.
Well known, yeah.
That one is hopped up as Rutherford has to make an odd move for it. He throws over, though, to Cody Henry, and he makes the final out against the Wareham Gatemen, as Hyannis still holds a 6-1 lead here as we hit to the bottom of the third inning from McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the third inning, 6-1 lead for Hyannis. Jet Bain back on the mound, deals to Cody Henry, who tips that one into the glove of Bart for strike one. Cody Henry barely got to talk about him. since he came up immediately after the home run by Dylan Busby. He gets a ground ball there to second. Freeman plays it and over to first, and one is away. So down goes Henry. We'll get to the other players that also have been up here on the Cape, as the four that we mentioned before were all starters. But still some others that are out there as reserves that will be playing as well. Matt Wieters, Orleans in 06. Josh Donaldson, Harwich in 06. Brad Brock, Colt Katuit in 07. Will Harris, YD in 04. As that one misses way inside on Chris Hudgens for ball one. Andrew Miller, Chatham in 04 and 05. And Stephen Wright, another Boston Red Sox, played for Orleans in 05. Is that one inside as well to Hudgens for a 2-0 count. He played for Hawaii. Did Stephen Wright.
Yeah, and wasn't a knuckleballer he wasn't a knuckleballer on the Cape. He wasn't a knuckleballer until he was in the, I believe it was the Orioles organization. Not exactly I'm blanking on which team it was, but anyways, he became a knuckleballer, and they told him at spring training, he came in, he didn't work on his knuckleball at all during the off season. He came in and they said, no, you're either going to be a knuckleball pitcher or we're going to cut you from the roster. So he became a knuckleball pitcher, and then the Red Sox acquired him, and he's worked a ton with Tim Wakefield.
2-2 pitch, misses upstairs to Hudgens for a 3-2 count. I do remember, since, of course, living up on Cape Cod, that's really all you have is Red Sox radio, and they talk about it. I did remember hearing that story, and it was the payout pitch by Bain to Hudgens. He gets a ground ball. That's going to be fair. Diving play by Tovalin. He has to recover, throw over, but it's not in time to get Chris Hudgens as he reaches base with one out.
Yeah, and Stephen Wright was fighting for that a bullpen spot on the Red Sox roster this preseason. And then he just absolutely has crushed it. I mean, he's been unbelievable, fantastic.
Turned into a bright spot for the Red Sox pitching staff-wise when really they found no answers. David Price struggling, everyone really struggling for them. First pitch is a fastball inside by the hands of Carl Stadjuar for ball one. But he's done a good job, and he was awarded as an all-star reserve for what he's done so far in the first half of the season. Bain drops that pitch inside and down low to Carl Stadjuar as Hudgens faked the steal. It'll be a 2-0 count.
It was the Cleveland Indians. That's who he came up with.
That's who it was. I remember the story.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Indians, and he was a 90. He used to hit 95 on his fastball, but since has dropped it. Now can only probably hit 87, 88.
2-0 fastball. High in the corner, called for a strike.
And, it's crazy that you don't see knuckleballers in college or on the Cape League. You just don't see a young amateur knuckleballer because no one's looking for that.
2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Stadjuar for a 2-2 count.
I mean, you see all the scouts out here at these games. What do they all have? They all have radar guns. It's all about velocity. And no one is saying, oh, you should use that knuckleball.
That one's thrown over. Hudgens just getting back safely as Bain and Wareham have been close a couple of times to the pickoff move at first. But really, a breaking ball. I mean, you don't see that many people use it. It can be tough to make that a good pitch for you because sometimes you're just throwing a meatball over the home plate. 2-2 pitch. That one is lifted into deep left field. Moving back, continuing his Mets at the warning track, and he makes the catch for the second out.
Yeah, and you're just, if it's really hit or miss. I mean, there are guys who have experimented with knuckleballs, and they don't do anything. They don't move. They're just meatballs, like you said. And it's a strange pitch. No one has really figured it out yet. No one has found an answer to how to make it a lethal pitch. It's just so happens that there are these rare breeds.
Fastball misses upstairs to Peter Zyla for ball one.
I think the biggest problem, though, is that it's discouraged at the amateur level. You don't see anybody saying, yes, you should fool around with the knuckleball, see if it's a good pitch or not. You're seeing kids throw curveballs at 11, 12 years old. They're developing those curveball pitches, and they're being told no knuckleballs, stick with the curve, the fastball and the curveball, and then we'll teach you a changeup too.
1-0 pitch, lifted into left field, but it'll go foul to the Hyannis bullpen for a 1-1 count. And I think that's really just it. I think guys, at times it seems like, and it is clearly seen like that for Stephen Wright's case, it seems like a pitch that you have to try and find when your other pitches kind of lose the luster that they had before.
Well, it wasn't even that for him. He was more just messing around with it during practice.
Lobbed into center field, a base hit for Peter Zyla. And 2 men are on base with 2 outs in the bottom of the third for Hyannis.
Wright was messing around with it, and he'd show guys.
Yeah.
I mean, when he would throw, he would just kind of throw it while playing catch. When a coach noticed and was like, wow, that's really good. Like, let's see what that would look like if he threw it. And he would throw it, and he slowly the Cleveland organization, they just came out to more and more of his bullpens. And he would only throw it in bullpens, really. And there were at one point 50 guys lined up watching Stephen Wright pitch knuckleball, like just throw knuckleballs. And they were like, hey, we want you to start working on this. But he was a velocity pitcher. He threw 94.
First pitch to Brett Netzer, and Bart drops that one in the corner for strike one.
It just goes to show you that while we think that everybody here on the Cape they are the best of the best in college ball, but they still have a long way to go in terms of development.
That one inside in the lower corner, and it's an 0-2 count to Netzer. Well, that one is a definite because you see guys really just ever. I mean, look at Chris Sale. I mean, from a good school in Florida Gulf Coast, but not like a big power you would think, and he's one of the top pitchers in the league right now. Bain, the 0-2 pitch, fouled away into the netting by Netzer. So it really just never know. I mean, you talk about even more. I mean, you don't know what he's going to be in the MLB yet, but for Dakota Hudson, who came in as a reliever, then was completely turned into a starter up here, went back to Mississippi State for a year, and absolutely destroyed up there. And he's a first-round pick and going to the St. Louis Cardinals. Called strike looking there as Brett Netzer doesn't even move the bat. Inside by the hands. He'll go down on strikes. And a strikeout there for Bain. He leaves 2 men aboard for Hyannis, but they still have a 6-1 lead as we head to the 4th inning of play from McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the 4th inning, a 6-1 lead for Hyannis against the Wareham Gatemen. Max Soroller back on the mound. As he kicks and deals, now it's a fastball. Misses upstairs for ball 1. Hyannis 3-1 against the Gatemen so far. And Soroller deals. That one is fouled away by Joey Bart, who hit that solo shot off of Soroller. So he's looking for a little bit of revenge here earlier on this inning. But a 3-1 for Hyannis here. And their only game came in a 5-4 loss where they had a chance to win that game as well against Wareham. Destino, a diving catch. Robbed 2 runs from Netzer, who also even helped Hyannis save them there as that pitch drops in there down low by Sorolla for 2 strikes. Netzer made a fabulous play from third to save a run to give Hyannis a swinger's chance. Soroller, the 1-2 pitch, fouled away by Bart right in front of him. But they have kind of gone back and forth, have the Harbucks and the Gatemen, as 5 different times they've tied the game, aside from a 0-0 score, of course, in the 4 games played, 5 different times. And Wareham, at some point in the game, has had a lead in all the games that they played up to this point.
Bullpen. That's what that points to.
Swing and a miss by Joe Bart as Soroller takes vengeance on him for the solo shot, and there's one away.
That's another thing that you see up here is the strikeout spike.
Yes, they do. High.
Yeah. You're facing the best pitching in the league, and sometimes you're just dumbfounded.
That one's popped into the air into shallow left field. Rogers running in, and he makes the grab in shallow left for the second out. And just imagine that when you see the All-Star game, Jack, because that game, while you understand the reasoning for the All-Star game and why they do it, really can discourage against hitters because the starter for the game will go 2 innings, but then every other inning they'll switch in a new pitcher. So it gets really tough for the batter sometimes because they just see different guys throwing different pitches every time, and you'll usually find to be low-scoring games at the All-Star game.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're also switching in hitters as well.
That is true.
So, I mean, a hitter will get 1 at-bat, 2 at-bats, maybe an inning in the field. So it's tough to show off what you have in a one shining moment, and it doesn't accumulate to all that. But, you know, again, the All-Star game is just one of those venues where you can make a name for yourself.
Ball in the dirt by Soroller at a 1-1 count. The All-Star game.
We'll probably have 6 Harwich Mariners pitchers on there.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss once again by Mets for a 1-2 count. As the All-Star game, 11 days away. You say that, but that's if all the Harwich pitchers stay, because I would have to believe a couple of them do have inning limits. 1-2 pitch, down low by the feet of Mets in a 2-2 count.
Yeah, that is definitely going to kill them second half of the season, especially in playoffs. That's where you see teams, unlikely teams, come into play when all the guys leave, when all the stars are off and running. I could probably see 4 or 5 All-Stars from Hyannis this year. More on the 3 side.
Slow chopper over to third. Busby, a far throw over, and he gets the speedy Mets out. And 1-2-3 go the Gatemen. Soroller has definitely calmed down after that shaky second inning. 6-1 lead for the Harbucks as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the fourth inning. Hyannis still a 6-1 lead. Jet Bain still on the mound. Has allowed runners in every inning so far, but that time he was left 2 stranded and allowed no runs to score. Has 2 strikeouts looking as he'll face Ford Proctor, Zach Rutherford, and Jordan Rogers here. And so it'll be a tough go for Bain in this fourth inning. As the righty, first pitch, misses upstairs to Proctor for ball 1.
Yeah, Proctor just coming off of a really tough streak, was 2 for 22, but against Katua, 2 for 4 with a double, and now he has 1 hit tonight. So you can see it's starting to come back for Ford Proctor.
Did say if he didn't get 2 hits in his last game, he was going to burn a bat. So he avoided that one. As that one misses upstairs as well for a 3-0 count. Said the curse was lifted.
Curse was lifted. Although it does look like he burnt the end of that bat a little bit. A little black on the end of the wood.
3-0 misses outside, a 4-pitch walk for Ford Proctor. And he will lead things off here on base. And he'll be followed by his powerful teammates in Zach Rutherford, Jordan Rogers, and Dylan Busby.
And again, you have 4 batters in the middle of this Hyannis lineup that you can't miss pitches to, or else you'll make them pay.
First pitch to Rutherford. Fouls that one away over the Wareham dugout.
Interesting to see Giordano at shorts moving over more towards the hole instead of up the middle, and you see Freeman at second all the way up the middle as well.
That one's lifted high and deep into right field. At the warning track is Wade, and he makes it for the first out.
And you can see Wareham, they're already shifting on hitters according to where they've been hitting the ball in previous games and in tonight's game as well. And it's a competitive advantage thing, but it might be a little bit overblown because we've seen, especially a guy like Zach Rutherford who just sprays the ball everywhere. Rogers is similar as well. You can hit the ball anywhere.
Last year for Katuitt, it went to as extreme as you can get for when it comes to the shifts. As Rogers hits that one right over to Giordano, they play the throw over for the double play, and they turn it. So the Wareham Gatemen get all 3 Hyannis in order. And one on the base pass in Ford Proctor as we head to the 5th inning of play. Still 6-1 lead for the Hard Rocks over the Wareham Gatemen on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the 5th inning. And leading things off here for Wareham will be Austin Wade, followed by Adrian Tovaline and Nico Giratano. As that pitch hits on the outer half by Soroller for strike one. Some definite warm-ups going on now in the Wareham bullpen, as that one is lifted into center field. Netzer, though, is right there, and he makes the first out. So one is down for Wareham. 6-1 lead for Hyannis. Here against the Wareham Gatemen, trying to push on to 500 and possibly try to go up in the standings. A win tonight and a loss by the Bourne Braves would mean a big matchup for third place tomorrow at Doran Park. Either way would be a big matchup, as even with a win by both teams tonight, they would only be separated by 3 points. So Hyannis, and even at that, still trying to stay ahead of the Kettleers, as that breaking pitch drops in there on the lower half for an 0-2 count on Adrian Tovaline.
And Soroller has really settled down here after that big second inning, which he loaded the bases. Has pitched 2 great innings after it. Last inning, a 1-2-3 inning, and the inning before, after the infield single from Cole Freeman. Retired 2 more after Hudgens threw Freeman out at second. So Soroller has really settled nicely in his last start.
0-2 pitch way in the dirt. Hudgens isn't able to corral that one as it pops out from him over to the backstop. And then it'll be a 1-2 count to Tovaline. One-two pitch for Soroller. That one drops too low, though, for ball 2.
Definitely a big game for Hyannis tonight as they try to stay ahead of a hot Katua team.
That one lifted into left center field, and it's going to drop at the warning track. Netzer and Rogers both gunning for it. Tovaline is going to have a stand-up double with 1 out in the top of the 5th.
And now more than half of his hits this season are extra bases. Granted, that's his 9th hit on the Cape, but 5 of them for extra bases.
Katuitt Kettleers just beat the Harwich Mariners 3-1. So Katuitt continuing to stay hot as they continuing to fight back in the basement here, as they were at one point really struggling, 2-14, but they have really shot up. They're 7-3-1 since that point. Soroller deals the first pitch upstairs and inside to Nico Giratano in the 9 spot for Wareham.
And that's been Hyannis' biggest problem, is that after the 4-game win streak, they didn't play above 500 baseball. I mean, they're 5-6 in the past week, in the past 2 weeks.
1-0 is in the dirt by Soroller.
And 7-8 after the 4-game win streak. So, you need to, you can't have long streaks like that where you're playing 500 baseball or sub 500 baseball. You need to win multiple games in a week instead of splitting a series.
That's been behind his biggest thing. They have not won or gotten close to that 4-game winning streak since getting off that 0-7 start, as that one's fouled away. 2-1 count to Giratano. And they've really just, whenever they seem to be going hot, they just find a wall. I mean, you talk about that 5-game streak where they played Eastern opponents. They scored a ton of runs, but things turn different ways. I mean, you talk about the 13-10 loss to Brewster, the 8-7 loss to YD. You turn a couple of things around those games, and the 4-0 loss to Orleans. You turn something around there. And you could look at a different scenario, and that's really been Hyannis. I mean, that's it for baseball, really. It's really a game of inches. 2-1 pitch inside near the dirt to Giratano for a 3-1 count.
I would say that, especially against Katuitt last game, I mean, there were 3 defining moments of that game that just didn't go Hyannis' way, that changed the entire outcome. And you know what? They were all mental. They were all mental errors.
Soroller, 3-1 pitch. Chopper over to Cody Henry. He'll take it himself. Tovalin will move over to third, but there's 2 away. And I say that, but that's, of course, an obvious when it comes to baseball. But it's seen that for Hyannis. They just have not been. And I mean, even when you talk about the 0-7 start, a large part of the time they just have not been on the right side of things going right for them in that point and for games going on later into the season.
I mean, the last game against Wareham, a 5-4 loss, or excuse me, 2 games ago against Wareham, the 5-4 loss was, they shouldn't have been in the game, but they had many opportunities to put the game away.
Miss upstairs by Soroller for ball 1 to Cole Freeman.
And it gets get to it. I mean, Habercorn out in center, drops, dives for a ball, lets it get away from him, and then at third base runs through the stop sign. So, I mean, those are 2 defining moments of the games that could completely change it in the win-loss column.
That one's lifted into left field. Rogers continuing to move back, reaching over his head, and he makes the grab. Still running at the warning track, and Hyannis leaves another man stranded. Still holding a 6-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning here at McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect blend of fun and excitement. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Bottom of the 5th inning, and there will be a pitching change for the Wareham Gatemen. Nick Sprengel will relieve Jeff Bain here. Hyannis with a 6-1 lead, and he will face Dylan Busby, Cody Henry, and Chris Hudgens for the Hyannis Hard Rocks. Sprengel out of San Diego. 5 appearances. This will be a 6-4. A solid 4 ERA. As that one misses inside right by the shoulder of Busby. 1 save, 9 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 walks, and 13 strikeouts. 70 strikeouts in 65 innings. As that one is a swing and a miss at the fastball outside by Busby for a 1-1 count.
And Sprengel, he got hit around against Hyannis just a week ago. 2 innings pitched, 2 earned runs on 3 hits.
Slow chopper over to Tovalin and actually grabbed by Giratano, and he makes the long throw over to get Busby out. And that could have been dangerous for Wareham. Tovalin was, I would think he's called off by Giratano, but had to run over the ball. And Wareham still makes the play for the first out.
The first baseman from Alabama, 19, Cody Henry.
Similar situation to that first game where Sprengel came in relief of Jeff Bain here in the 5th inning. Zach Rutherford got an RBI, knocked in Cody Henry.
That one's fouled away by Henry. for a 1-0 count. Henry now moving to the right side for Hyannis, facing the lefty in Sprengel. As the 1-1 pitch is fanned by Henry for strike 2.
And Sprengel, he walked. The bases loaded. And then he walked in a run. Cody Henry, one of those players to score, but off of a sacrifice fly from Rutherford.
Foul to the backstop by Cody Henry and stays alive at a 1-2 count.
That was the game that Peter Zeiler dropped down. One of the nicest bunts I've seen.
Helps with his speed, especially as great of a bunt as it was. His speed definitely comes in handy in those spots. Peter Zeiler so far 2 for 2 tonight with a run scored. The 1-2 to Henry, and it drops down low, and it catches Cody Henry looking for the second out of the inning.
A little bit of a late strike call there. Seemed like he waited a little bit, but good curveball from Sprengel, who's done well in those 2/3 of an innings pitched so far tonight. Curveball has worked nicely and jammed Busby on that grounder to short.
So here's Chris Hudgens now, and he throws one right below his hands for ball 1. The 1-0 by Sprengel hits the corner on the other side of the strike zone for a 1-1 count to Hudgens. It'll also probably be a new pitcher for Hyannis. Max Soroller got the handshake from manager Gassman as Hudgens fouls that one away out of play. So we'll likely see Matt Naylor coming to this game. I don't even think there's a time where he came in when it's not a pitching change during an inning, as that one is lined right into the gap into center field by Hudgens, and he'll reach base off a single with 2 outs.
And now 2 singles for Hudgens on the day, who's been hitting very nicely. Just as him and Chris Cullen have been trading off behind the plate, but really, with Chris Hudgens hitting like he is, he's got to be in the lineup every day. Maybe as a designated hitter or behind the plate. If you want to get Cullen some more action behind the, if you want to get Chris Cullen some more action behind the plate, it seems like that's kind of the struggle. Trying to get both of those two some playing time back there.
1-0 pitch here to Carl Stadjuar. He's 0 for 2 so far this evening, but he lifts that one in for a base hit back into center field, and 2 men are aboard for Hyannis with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
And that's a great swing from Carl Stadjuar, one that we haven't seen in a while. He's been popping it up, flying out a lot. You've seen him get on top of the ball. He's just trying to do too much, but right there, just a simple swing on the outer half. Drives it right back up the middle. That's what Carl Stadjuar needed.
2 straight line drives into center field for Hyannis. 2 men on after 2 quick outs by Wareham to Busby and Henry. Sprengel working from the stretch. First pitch swung upstairs by Zyla for strike 1. Here's the pitch from Sprengel, fouled away by Zyla, and he'll sit in an 0-2 hole.
Zyla, we already mentioned that base hit against Sprengel. A little bunt down the third base line. Because at Wareham, that grass acts as the foul line.
1-2 pitch, swing and a miss by Zyla. He goes down on strikes. 2 strikeouts for Sprengel coming in relief, and he strands 2 Harbrocks. But Hyannis still holds a 6-1 lead as we head to the 6th inning of play on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Top of the sixth inning here, McKeon Park. A 6-1 lead for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks over the Wareham Gatemen. As Max Roller, the starter for Hyannis tonight, his day is done. After 5 strong innings, only 1 run on 4 hits. As Matt Naylor will come in relief here in the 6th. He'll face Joey Bartosik for his first batter here in the 6th. As this pitch hits for the first strike, a 1-1 count now to Bartosik. Naylor, in his 10th appearance on the Cape, gave up his first earned run to Wareham in 2/3 of an innings pitch. That was just a few games ago as Bartosik swings through that off speed.
And, Jack, I posed the question of, has Matt Naylor ever started an inning for Hyannis, or has he always come in as a pitching change?
Well, he's definitely closed inning. Bartosik swings at that one, pops it up, and Cody Henry will come down with the catch. Bartosik trying to foul that one off, but unfortunately he fouls it off right into the glove of Cody Henry.
But that was the biggest question. I mean, we haven't been able to figure it out exactly. If it's happened one time, and that's it. But let me tell you, this guy's been stellar, really, for Hyannis. And a guy that even wasn't up here initially. Came up here a little later on in the season, and he's been a huge guy to come out of the bullpen for them when they need him. I mean, coming in this game, really, for him, it's not a desperate time that they need him, but he still comes in and can throw Wareham completely off their game with his sidewinding pitches.
Here's Colton Shaver, who comes in as a pinch hitter. Excuse me. It is Wenson who will pinch hit for Joey Bart. Harrison Wenson from Michigan, as we saw Wenson start against Hyannis in their last game played, and then Joey Bart came in to pinch hit for him and finish off the game. And now it's Wenson in for Bart in this one. Excuse me, coming in for Alex Destino, the designated hitter, who was 0 for 2 on the evening. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It just misses up top.
That would have been a bold move by Wareham to take Joey Bart out. I'll tell you that. If it's not for Colton Shaver, I don't know why you would do it.
Bart is warming up in the on-deck circle. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Naylor. Swing and a miss. Got him on the off-speed. Naylor now works the count full. As Matt Naylor came in relief for Max Soroller at Wareham. Soroller went 5 1/3 that day. Here's the payoff pitch. Big swing and a miss. Same pitch, same location, and same result. Matt Naylor retires the first 2 batters here in the 6th inning, but now will have to face a big one in Joey Bart.
And this is the other thing for a Naylor that you find impressive for him. Because, I mean, he's pitching a lot of games, and he's seen a lot of guys. I mean, you just talked about he played Wareham already once. And even if you've seen him, you're just not prepared to come up to bat and face a ball that if you're a righty, it looks like it's going to hit you. Or if a lefty, it looks like it's not even going to drop in the strike zone.
Bart checks swings. They'll appeal it to the first base umpire, and he will say he did not go around.
And, I mean, Bart looks like he's compensated a little bit for it. Looks like he's kind of standing out more in the batter's box, letting that pitch come in. And normally he's a little bit closer, but I guess he's going to try and be the first guy to compensate for Naylor here and try to find something against him.
One pitch here to Joey Bart. 2 outs in the 6th, the 6-1 lead for Hyannis. And Bart flies this one out into left center field. Rogers will come down with the catch. 3 hitters, 3 outs for Matt Naylor in relief for Max Roller. It's still a 6-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks here at McKeon Park as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the 6th inning, a 6-1 lead for Hyannis. Nick Sprangel on the mound for the Gatemen. And Brett Netzer, the leadoff hitter, will come to the plate. He is 1 for 2 today, was hit by a pitch, and also doubled. Came around to score twice. And Sprangel will kick and deal a fastball that hits up top for strike 1. Hyannis 11 hits through 5 innings. As this curveball misses on the outside half. Brett Netzer, his first game for Hyannis was against Wareham. It was at Spillane Field. Went 0 for 3, walked, scored a run, and was hit by a pitch as well. And he almost had the game-winning hit for Hyannis. That would have put 2 across, but Alex Destino made a great play out and left as Netzer singles through the hole between short and third to lead off the inning here in the 6th.
And we talked about this before for Wareham, and this always happens a couple of times even at points in the Cape League where guys drop people and they just seriously kick themselves when they drop some guys, and they just do so much better and really help teams push themselves forward. And that's the exact situation you watch right now with Wareham and Brett Netzer.
Well, Netzer was 0 for his last 9 plate appearances until tonight. Now 2 for 3. As Ford Proctor makes his way to the plate, he watches the first one go by for a strike.
I mean, you really talk about it for Hyannis. They were really juggling around that outfield, and Brett Netzer coming in really helped solidify what they wanted to do out there.
Proctor grounds this one to second. Freeman flips it over to short. The throw on to first is in time. A 4-6-3 double play. And quickly, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, Zach Rutherford coming up with 2 outs. He's also 2 for 3 on the evening with 2 singles. And Rutherford, much like Proctor, struggled a little bit last week in the hitting realm after being named player of the week, as that one just nicks the inside corner for strike 1. Sprangel kicks and deals, and Rutherford chops this one down the first base line foul off the end of the bat. Wind blowing straight out into right center field. As the 0-2 pitch from Sprangel misses on the inner half. Good block from Bart behind the plate on the curveball. And Sprangel, now pitching an inning and 2/3 in relief, has done a lot better in this outing against Hyannis than in his last, in which he gave up 2 earned runs. As this one hits the inside corner, Rutherford is caught looking. Sprangel with another great inning in the 6th as he sits the side down. We'll head to the 7th. It's a 6-1 lead for Hyannis, and we will be back for the 7th inning of play here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Six to 1 lead for Hyannis entering the 7th inning of play. McKeon Park now completely overtaken by the shadow of Pope John Paul II High School, which is directly behind this press box and the field. As the lights start to come on here, 7:41 game time. Matt Naylor delivers the first pitch to Gavin Sheets, who fouls it off. Sheets 0 for 2 on the night, grounded out to second, and flew out to left field in his last plate appearance.
That foul ball went right near Coach Ron Polk. And I know he was looking at his clipboard, but he was looking down. Ball lands probably maybe a foot, probably less right by him. Lands right next to him, still just looks at his clipboard.
Strike called on the outer half, 1-2 the count now to Sheets. And as mentioned before, a baseball will never hit Ron Polk if it's a foul ball.
If it's a foul ball.
1-2 offering is a little outside. Ron Polk, of course, famous head coach. Has now coached 50 years plus. Founding father of SEC baseball. As this fastball misses way outside. And it's a full count to the leadoff hitter and Gavin Sheets out of Wake Forest. Sheets has been dominant up here on the Cape. Trying to continue this dominance here in the 7th inning against Hyannis as he mashes this one into right over the head of Peter Zyla. That one hops against the wall. Zyla's relay throw is not in time as Sheets slides in safely at second with a leadoff double.
Yeah, and Zyla not quick to react to the line drive there by Sheets. Tried to make a play, desperate play up to just stop it in the air and have a chance at it. But he's not able to do that. Sheets making a move to second, and Hyannis kind of close to getting a tag on him, at least a closer tag than you would think for how far he hit that one.
Only the second double of the season for Gavin Sheets, who has 3 home runs on the year. But surprising that Gavin Sheets does not have more extra base numbers. As the first pitch to Robert Metz is across for a strike. He looked to square there, but pulled it back. Naylor will look at second. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's popped up into right field. Zyla calls everybody off, and he'll make the grab. Sheets won't go far. As Rutherford sprinting in on the cutoff throw to try to get Sheets, who was lazy to get back to second, but not lazy enough.
No, you'd have to be basically walking, I would think, which he almost was. And nice reaction, though, by Rutherford and by Zyla to kind of get the look to each other and say, throw me the ball in. This guy is not moving quickly back to second. That would have been very embarrassing for Sheets if he did not get back quickly enough and he gets tagged out at second.
Austin Wade, the left-hander, swings at the first pitch. Chop to second. Proctor's there. He'll throw on to first. Now 2 down in the 7th. But a runner in scoring position for Wareham at third. And now Alex Tovalin, who added a double of his own in his last plate appearance, will come up here with 2 outs and try to tack on one more for Wareham.
And at this point, that's really all you can try to do if you're Wareham. I mean, they've had some opportunities, primarily in that 2nd inning, but they weren't able to get anything done there. But against Matt Naylor, especially if you're a righty, it's going to be tough.
Naylor's fastball hits the outside corner. As we mentioned, Alex Tovalin, he's got 9 hits on the season, but 5 of them being extra bases. Big power hitter down at Azusa Pacific. Slugged over 700. Pretty incredible as he fouls this one out of play and quickly. Matt Naylor has Alex Tovalin at an 0-2 count. 2 outs here in the 7th. It's a 6-1 lead for Hyannis. 12 hits on the evening for the Harbor Hawks, only 5 for the Gatemen. Naylor comes set. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Tovalin. Swing and a miss. He got him. Matt Naylor retires the side after the leadoff double from Gavin Sheets. As he has been fantastic in relief, we may see a new Harbor Hawk on the mound in the 8th. But nonetheless, Hyannis leads it here at McKeon Park, 6-1 on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers in active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and mobile application development, online at www.curry.edu.
T-shirt toss is underway at McKeon Park as interns giving away some free T-shirts to the fans, the lucky fans here at McKeon Park. Gorgeous Tuesday evening as Jordan Rogers sets in for Hyannis. Nick Sprangle still on the mound in relief. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Pitch in the dirt from Jordan Rogers. As it'll be Rogers, Busby, and Henry due up. And between them, 6 home runs. 2 each. Excuse me, I should say 7, as Dylan Busby, he homered tonight once again. The 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss at the fastball up in the zone. 1 down here in the 7th. Nick Sprangle has been fantastic besides the 2 base hits that he let up in the 5th inning. Other than that, Sprangle in relief has not let Hyannis see the light of day.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen with Wareham, especially in the bullpen, as I mentioned, they had multiple leads in games against Hyannis before. It can be hit or miss, but Sprangle has definitely done a good job. You wonder if they should have brought him in earlier against Maine, although he really did much better after those couple of early innings. But those were really the innings that were really put the nail in the coffin for Bain early on.
Busby mashes this one into center. Bartosik won't have to move much as he'll make the grab for the second out of the inning. As Wareham, the pitching tonight was after the first inning. Debatably the second inning as well, where Hyannis got 4 hits. They've settled in nicely. Hyannis offense just came to play today. Their second time around seeing Jeff Bain has been fantastic. Cody Henry swings at the first pitch. As Cody Henry gets the first hit of the evening for him. All 9 Harbor Hawks have hits now. Thank you, John Cabral. And that's been the night so far. I mean, Hyannis has been raking now 13 hits on the evening. Double-digit hits. Have not seen that since Brewster, when they scored 10 runs. Oh, Chatham as well. They also scored 10 runs. Chris Hudgens coming to the plate with 2 outs now and a runner on first. But Wareham 0-3-2 in their last 5 games, as they have not scored more than 3 runs in their past 3 games. They've just been gridlocked, the offense. And granted, they faced good pitching. Max Roller had his stuff tonight. Matt Naylor as well in relief has been fantastic so far. And now with 2 innings left, you kind of know what's going to hit you if you're Wareham. You know that Garrett Cave is available in the pen, and with a 5-run lead, you might see somebody else like James Harrington Tyler Stevens. But nonetheless, the bullpen for Hyannis probably its best suit, as this one gets away from Bart, and Cody Henry slides in safely at second.
Yeah, and I think now the biggest story, though, you talk about is for Hyannis. You mentioned before not getting a lot of hits, not being able to score runs as easily as they had early on. And they were given the opportunities, they just couldn't do it. And now you wonder, now can they turn the page? Can they find a way to just keep this going and keep grabbing some more momentum as you get to the All-Star game?
1-1 pitch is swung on and missed by Chris Hudgens. As Hudgens, 2 for 3 today with 2 singles. And he's got a runner in scoring position, and Cody Henry now with 2 outs in the 7th. Sprangel comes set. Here's the 1-2 delivery. This one is hit deep into center field. Bartosik going back at the track, but he'll make the grab right at the base of the gravel out in center field. So Hyannis, they strand 1 runner on 1 hit in the inning. But we'll head to the 8th now. 2 innings left for Hyannis as they try to get their first win in over 3 days here at McKeon Park. It's a 6-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks. Stick with us. Find out if they can hold this lead for the next 2 innings of play on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. To the 8th inning we go. And it'll be a new pitcher for Hyannis in relief of Matt Naylor. But not usually the 8th inning guy that you see night in and night out in Tyler Stevens. Instead, it's James Harrington, who has been just as lights out as Stevens, if not better. He's only appeared in 7 games, however, out of the 27 games played now by Hyannis. As the first pitch is an attempted bunt by Nico Giarratano, the shortstop. The throw from Harrington is in time. And he fields his position well, gets the first out here in the 8th.
Yeah, and I was going to say, throwing him out there is really bad news for Wareham with how he's been doing so far. And you're right, he hasn't pitched in many games, but his last 2 relief appearances have been nothing short of spectacular.
Pitched 3 innings against Yarmouth Dennis on the 4th of July. Struck out 4 and retired 9 straight batters. Did the same thing against Harwich on the 8th as Cole Freeman swings at the first pitch, pops it up into foul ground. Dylan Busby is there, and he'll make the grab. 2 pitches and 2 outs for Harrington here in the 8th. And Gabe, you could make a case that James Harrington could be an all-star this year, but he just has not appeared in enough games for Hyannis. And he had a shaky, rough couple of outings there in the middle. He's pitched 2 games against Wareham, which is he's combined for an inning and a third. But in the appearances, he's appeared in 3 games really after his start against Orleans. In the 3 games afterwards, he was really shaky, and he couldn't really find himself on the mound there. They would pull him early, But really, these last two starts have just solidified how good he is.
Yeah, he's just really molded into a better spot in the relieving position. If you're Hyannis, you really weren't sure where you wanted to put him in the bullpen when it comes to relieving. I mean, you have Matt Naylor, who, when he's available, will come in relief of the starting pitcher. Then you had Tyler Stevens. You had other guys. You had Al Pesto and those guys coming in at different points.
Bartosik fouls this one right into the screen, protecting that Wareham dugout.
And now you have this other play in James Harrington, who we can see can go way more than just one inning. So he can be placed in different opportunities if you're Hyannis.
This one just fouled off.
And
nicks Chris Hudgens' mask.
He falls into another one of those categories of a starter from New Mexico, comes in as a reliever, and struggled early on, but you can see now getting more consistent, getting more of some bullpen pitching times with Ray Korn, that it's really blossomed into what he's been the last two games.
The 1-2 pitch from Harrington. Swing and a miss from Joey Bartosik. Another 1-2-3 inning for James Harrington, who has not allowed a hit in the past 7 innings of work. The Harbor Hawk in James Harrington is just cruising in these last 3 appearances. A 6-1 lead for Hyannis. We'll head to the bottom half of the 8th inning here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network at 7:57. Don't tune into the All-Star game just yet. Stick with us here at McKeon Park. Bottom of the 8th inning here at McKeon Park, a 6-1 lead for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks over the Wareham Gatemen, as Ryan Selmer will come in to pitch in relief of Nick Sprengel, who pitched 3 strong innings in relief of the starter and Jeff Bain tonight. And Hyannis, they know Ryan Selmer all too well, as he came in against Hyannis when they were 0-7 in a 4-3 ball game. A 4-2 ball game. And Zach Rutherford knocked in 2 runs in that bottom half of the 8th inning to tie the game, put Hyannis within 1. And then Cody Henry doubled to score 2 more Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and it was a 5-4 win, as Hyannis scoring 4 runs in that bottom half of the 8th inning to win it, all against Ryan Selmer, as Carl Stadjar pops this one up, gets jammed on the inside half, and it's an easy play for Adrian Tovalin at third for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and for Stadjar, really, and for anyone right now for Hyannis, you have a 6-1 lead. At this point, just keep trying to swing the bats, keep staying hot here, because you're going to see different guys coming up at any point. So you really just got to keep going here and just keep extending this lead as much as you can. You got to make up for lost time, I guess you would say, after they've been really struggling with the bats, but have really turned it around this evening.
6 runs on 13 hits for Hyannis tonight. Peter Zyla smacks that one into left field. Third hit of the evening for Peter Zyla, and first multi-hit game of the season for Zyla. He has now matched. He had 5 hits coming into this game, his 3 tonight, and that is something that you love to see. Is a guy coming off the bench getting the start tonight, and he's got a 3-hit night.
Yeah, I think since he's been coming these last couple of games, whether it's been pinch hit, pinch run situations, or even starting, he has really stepped up when his number and name has been called for Hyannis, and that's kind of what you have to do. Especially for Hyannis and every Cape team, there's going to be players where you're not going to get to play every day, but when your number is called.
Zyla is running. It's a hit and run on the play. They call him out at second, and Netzer is out at first. A 4-6-3 double play. So even though Zyla was off and running to try to null that, it doesn't happen after the hot shot from Brett Netzer, but nonetheless, we'll go into the 9th inning, 8:02 the time on the East Coast here as the All-Star game just getting underway, but the 9th inning just coming underway for Hyannis. Stick around for one more half inning of play, and then we'll shoot you over to ESPN for the All-Star game. Stick with us on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. A 6-1 lead for Hyannis. Top of the 9th inning, Hyannis holding on to a 5-run lead. But they do bring in the man, the myth, the legend, and Garrett Cave, who has just been lights out for Hyannis. Now his 13th appearance on the Cape, as he now has 6 saves on the year. And this is not a save situation, but this a let's get out of this inning as fast as we can situation and watch the All-Star game. As the first pitch to Harrison Wenson, the new designated hitter after Alex Destino, takes a strike.
And I think for Cave, his last appearance that we saw him was that game against YD. Or excuse me, that game against Harwich that we saw him in. But I think part of this is really just for him, I would think, getting a little bit of reps. He's kind of have a couple of off days now. I think most of this, maybe there's a new mechanic that Ray Corner's working with him, really just to try and keep him loose, because he is the guy that you send out there in save situations.
Works the count against Wenson, 1-2. As Wenson came in for Alex Destino. but struck out in his first at-bat. Destino was 0 for 2 on the evening as well. Cave comes set. Here's the 1-2 pitch. The curveball misses on the outer half. Justin Lewis is up in the bullpen and throwing, loosening up a bit. I doubt that we see him, but if Cave does find himself in a little bit of trouble, there is some insurance. The 2-2, big swing and a miss from Harrison Wenson. It's a strikeout, number 21 on the season in now 11 innings pitched for Garrett Cave.
Yeah, and after you see the slider come in there from afar and you see a 96 heater upstairs in the corner by Cave, that's really, you can't do much, especially at this point when your batsmen slow down, when you've had to deal with Matt Naylor sidewinding and the stellar pitching by Harrington. This is just not the guy you want to see for Hyannis up here.
Joey Bart watches the first strike go by, and Bart, after the second inning, a leadoff home run, has been quiet, struck out, and flown out to left field. As Cave comes set at the belt. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Misses on the outer half. Bart came into this one 16 of his last 31 plate appearances, as he raised his batting average from 143 to 372 now. The 1-1 up in the zone.
And I mean, for Cave, I know he wants to try and play around here with the strike zones, get guys swinging, but I think for him with this fastball, I think he can easily have a chance to blow by some of these guys, even if it is Bart.
2-1 is in on the hands of Bart. He leans out of the way of that one. There's a 3-1 count now with one out in the ninth. Cave gets the sign. Here's the 3-1. Fouled off. Just barely. As you can see, Bart hopping out of his shoes almost on that pitch. The problem is when you know as a hitter that it's coming in at 95 miles an hour, you think you got to quicken up your bat speed and quicken up your whole motion. So guys are swinging a lot harder. And you see it right there as Bart swings through the fastball. 2 outs and 2 strikeouts for Garrett Cave. And Gabe, that's just how it goes, is when a guy knows that you're throwing that hard, they think he's throwing harder, I got to swing it harder.
And then when he knows that he's throwing hard, that's what gives Cave the biggest advantage, because he has that slider that he can just simply drop in at really any point, but he does pick his moments pretty well.
This one is lined into center, but it should be it, and it is. Brett Netzer puts away the last out of the game here at McKeon Park. It's a 6-1 win for Hyannis, and they get back in the win column after a tough weekend. And Gabe, the off day must have served them well, because the offense, they found their groove once again. 6 runs on 14 hits for Hyannis tonight. The pitching, a.k.a. Max Soroller, was fantastic as well. He really settled in after that second inning scare with the bases loaded and only 1 out. But Gabe, tonight, it's about the offense, and it's about those 14 hits. And the day off, as I said before, did them very well.
Yeah, and just to stay there on Sorolla for a second, just a great job by him to finish off his little short career here on Cape. I got to give it to him. He had an unfortunate way to go in these games. He had to face the best hitting team twice at their home field. Not many times are you going to succeed both times. That you would wish he had a couple better outings, but I think to leave on this, to leave with your team getting a win and hopefully push their momentum forward for a guy who really just helped this team out as a starter, even if it didn't seem like he had great breaking stuff for him. A great job, but today really was about getting on the right track with hitting, though.
Max Sorolla will stick around for a few days before he goes home, but he will be sorely missed in the clubhouse of Hyannis. What a great individual, great young man with a promising future ahead of him, especially after some strong starts here on Cape Cod. We hope the best for Max Sorolla, and we know that we'll definitely be hearing about him in the future. But for now, Hyannis, they get back in the win column, 12-14, and that's big after Gatuit also wins tonight and they get their 9th win of the season. Hyannis with their 12th win, and they square off against Bourne tomorrow for a 3rd place.
And the other big thing, the Braves, as we last checked, were losing 3-0 to Chatham. So if that score stays the same, a huge matchup between Western teams for 3rd place in the division for Hyannis after Bourne was all the way at the top at one point. They have fell down far. And if Hyannis can keep pushing them down further and further and just keep getting away from Katuitt, it can be big. They haven't played each other in a while. Bourne has been hot since they played them, but now have cooled off. So a big matchup between these two teams coming up tomorrow for 3rd place.
Wareham, their losing streak continues as they now drop to 0-4-2 in their last 6 games. They'll drop even lower in the standings now as Hyannis, they finally get a win after a much-needed day off of that Monday. You can tune in for that 3rd place matchup between Hyannis and the Bourne Braves. That one is at Dorn Park. It's a 5 o'clock start time for the Hyannis Harborhawks and the Bourne Braves. We'll catch you then on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Be sure to tune in to that one. But for those of you who are going to watch the All-Star game right now, we don't blame you because we're going to go do the same as well. Go NL. Here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, Gabe Sustick and Jack Keffer bringing you Harborhawks baseball all summer long.